Episode 1. The Commute. City traffic, morning rush, engines idling, distant hooting. The morning traffic was a nightmare. Same roads. Same gray skyline. Same war zone of impatient drivers armed with overpriced coffee and a death wish. A ticking indicator, slow and steady. Quinn Monroe didn't need to be here. She had nothing to prove. Not anymore. PhD in forensic science. A company so successful it practically ran itself. Books. Lectures. Degrees that filled more wall space than art ever could. Finger taps on the steering wheel, frustrated. And yet, there she was. Stuck behind a white Corolla with no concept of acceleration and a taxi trying to merge with all the grace of a wrecking ball. Loud honk, Quinn sighs audibly. Quinn, dry, sarcastic. What the fuck am I doing? Click of indicator turning on. She was about to switch lanes, just one more click of the wrist, and she'd be free, off this godforsaken gridlock for the next 10 hours. But something caught her eye. Engine shift, tires slightly turning, then stabilizing again. A red Jeep. Bright. Unapologetic. The kind of red that didn't ask for attention, it demanded it. She pulled back into her lane. Quinn, hesitant, almost whispering. Not today. Traffic moves slowly, gentle crawling. Every day for 2 months now, she'd seen that Jeep. Same time. Same road. Except Thursdays. Quinn, confused, murmuring. Why are you here today? That thought stayed with her as she followed, one car length behind. Trying not to stare. Trying so hard not to care. But it was pointless. From the first time she saw her. That blonde hair with auburn streaks, like sunlight melting into morning. Those ice blue eyes. Eyes that ruined Quinn's sleep more efficiently than any nightmare ever could. She timed her commute to match the Jeep. Changed her routes. Watched through her rearview like a woman possessed. Every morning, a fleeting glance. A phantom smile. And then gone. Indicator. The Jeep is turning. Quinn, breathless. Where are you going today? The Jeep turned off the main road. Quinn hesitated. Then followed. Like she always said she wouldn't. Tires on cobbled street a softer, slower pace. They pulled up in front of a brownstone building, 2 stories, quiet, almost forgettable. Except for the brass plaque that caught the morning light. Quinn, questioning. Stewart and Pollard? She drove past, heart hammering. Parked at the end of the block. Watched. A door opening, heels on pavement. The woman stepped out. Not just beautiful, composed. Untouchable. A tailored suit, dark heels, lips painted like discipline and danger. She paused at the top step. And turned. Silence. Then low whoosh of wind. Quinn. A panicked whisper. Shit. She saw me. Quinn ducked. Hard in her throat. Shame crashing over her like a wave. Quinn, breathless. She's gonna call the cops. You are so screwed, Monroe. But the woman just walked inside. Like Quinn wasn't even there. Then the engine starting, low hum. Quinn, softly, to herself. Who are you? Back at her office, she tried to work. Tried to focus. But her hands kept reaching for her keyboard. Her eyes scanning the memory of a name on brass. She searches again. Quinn murmuring. Stewart and Pollard. Private investigations. Criminal services. But no trace of her. Not a single photo. Not a single clue. Just a ghost, driving a red Jeep. And Quinn? She'd already crossed the line between curiosity and obsession. And she didn't care. Episode 2. Collision course. Quinn left the office earlier than usual. Honking of cars around her. Engines roaring. Soft jazz drifting from a car radio. Rain just starting to fall, light taps on windshields. The city held its breath beneath the muted hum of late afternoon traffic. Glass towers stood like silent witnesses, watching, always watching. And in the pulse of it all, Quinn Monroe was a heartbeat off rhythm. Not from deadlines. Not from pressure. But from a woman. A stranger. With a red Jeep and no digital footprint. Quinn grips the steering wheel. Her fingers twitch. Eyes scan every red vehicle. Her phone buzzes with missed calls. She ignores them. Quinn, breathless, low. You don't even know her. You don't know her name. but she's in your veins. Like a song stuck in a language you don't speak, but understand anyway. Then break, screech, impact, a fender bender. Quinn out loud, stunned. Shit. And then, like the universe snapped its fingers, there she was. Moments after collision. Heels on pavement. The click of power. The hush of fate holding its breath. Atalia, calm, poised, just slightly amused. Well, that's one way to stop me. Quinn, struggling to speak, lost in her face. I didn't see you. I mean I did, just not. Are you okay? Atalia, head tilt smirk. No bruises. No blood. Just a little bump. Though you seem more rattled than I am. She had a voice that didn't belong to Earth. Velvet laced with steel. Warm and utterly untouchable. Quinn soft. I'll cover everything. The damage. The whatever's needed. Atalia, pulling a pastel card from her bag, offers it without drama. Atalia Montgomery. Here's my number. I don't suppose you'll forget it. Quinn, touching the card, barely a whisper. I won't. Her fingers touched Quinn's as she passed the card. Not a jolt, not quite, but a warmth that spread like truth under skin. And then she was gone. Then the red Jeep door closes. Engine starts and she pulls off. Back at home, Quinn sits in front of her computer. A glass of whiskey half full. The card beside her. Screen open on a search engine. Quinn, murmuring. Atalia Montgomery. No company. No LinkedIn. No trace. Just her name. And a number. She dials before she could think, ringing. Atalia on speaker, cool and composed. Ms. Monroe. I wondered how long it would take. Quinn caught, heartbeat in her voice. I wanted to make sure you were okay. Atalia. I'm always okay. But thank you. Was there something else? Quinn. I was hoping we could meet. Properly. A pause, then a delicate inhale from Atalia. Atalia. You're not used to being the one chasing, are you? Quinn, quiet. No. Atalia, voice softens, still unreadable. I'll wait for your assistant reach out. Good night, Miss Monroe. Click, call ends. Quinn stared at the phone. She'd heard 100 voices today. But only one mattered. The one that had already carved itself into her silence. The next day in Quinn Monroe's office, 1:59 p.m. The clock ticks. Louder than it should. Or maybe it's just her pulse. Her assistant Celeste had already knocked once to remind her. She hadn't moved. Quinn stands now in front of the full-length mirror on the back of her office door, straightening her blouse for the 3rd time. Her hands betray her, trembling. She clenches them into fists, then exhales, low and deep. 2 p.m. The knock comes. 3 soft raps, poised, purposeful. Not a second early. Not a second late. Come in, Quinn says, and her voice cracks. She clears her throat. The door opens, and Atalia Montgomery enters like a breeze carrying secrets. Still in gray. Still severe. But this time, her hair is not pulled back. It cascades in loose waves, softening her jawline, undoing something in Quinn that was already undone. Miss Monroe, she says with a small, knowing smile. Please, Quinn breathes, call me Quinn. Then call me Atalia. They shake hands. Atalia's touch is brief, warm. Her fingers linger for just a breath longer than necessary. Or maybe Quinn imagined it. The conversation has drifted from cars to coffee to chaos theory, or something like it. Quinn tries to stay grounded, but Atalia keeps tilting the floor beneath her. How long have you been in Cape Town? Quinn asks. A pause. Atalia looks at her, head tilted. Long enough to disappear, she says softly. What does that mean? It means some people don't like being found. Quinn studies her. But you handed me your number. You knew I'd call. Did I? Atalia's smile is quiet. Dangerous. Or did you just want to? Quinn swallows. The air thickens. Atalia stands, brushing invisible lint from her sleeve. I'll leave you to your work, Dr. Monroe. That's it? Quinn rises with her, confused. You came all this way. To meet the woman who broke her own rules, Atalia interrupts gently. That tells me more than any conversation could. She walks to the door, then pauses with her hand on the frame. I'll let you chase me a little longer, Quinn. It suits you. Then she leaves. And Quinn is left staring at the door, breathless, rattled, hungry for more. That night, Quinn lies awake again. She opens her laptop. No new clues. Still no full name. No full profile. No trace. Except for the smell of jasmine on her blazer sleeve. And the echo of a voice that said, "It suits you." There are moments you don't plan for, they sneak in sideways, like the sun through broken blinds. Quinn didn't expect to see Atalia again. But 2 days later, there she was seated by the window at Cafe Minerva. The red Jeep parked like a dare out front. She wasn't reading. Wasn't scrolling. She was waiting. A heartbeat rising slightly. Quinn softly to herself. What the hell is she doing here? What the hell am I doing here? A chair scrapes as Quinn approaches. Atalia. Ms. Monroe. Soft smile. I ordered you an Americano. No sugar. I took a wild guess. Quinn. That's? Laughs nervously. Either impressive or mildly terrifying. Atalia. You followed me. It's only fair I return the favor. It was cat and mouse. Except neither of them knew who which was. Quinn sipped the coffee. Bitter. Bold. Exactly how she liked it. She hated how right Atalia was. Quinn. So, what do you do exactly? Atalia. I walk. I read. I fix things. People bring me their broken pieces. Quinn. Are you a therapist? Atalia. Do I look like one? Beat. No. But I listen better than most. Her voice was amber and shadow, soft in some syllables, sharp in others, the kind that lingered in your bloodstream longer than caffeine. And Quinn? Quinn was unraveling. Her fingers are tapping against the ceramic cup. Quinn to herself. This is dangerous. I don't know her. I don't want to know her. And I can't stop looking at her. Atalia. Would you like to walk with me? Beat. No traffic. No red lights. Just air. And honesty. They walked in silence at first. A rhythm found between them, not quite strangers, not quite safe. Quinn. You don't strike me as someone who does casual meetings. Atalia. You don't strike me as someone who loses control. Turns to her. And yet, here we are. Quinn internally. I should run. But my feet won't move. I should guard my heart. But she already saw inside. Quinn returns to her apartment. The door closes and keys drop into a bowl. Quinn exhale. Quinn. I Googled her again. Nothing. No digital footprint. No records. No public trace. But her voice? Still ringing in my ears. This isn't about curiosity anymore. This is survival. A flashback to the cafe, laughter, a whispered, Ms. Monroe, the touch of a hand, the sound of a heartbeat slowed. Obsession doesn't always start with fire. Sometimes it's a slow trickle of honey and gasoline. And the match? Atalia lit it with her smile. Episode 3. Red Wine and Ghost Stories. Who is Atalia? Atalia Montgomery isn't just a ghost. She's a fixer for an off-books division of an ancient, globally intertwined intelligence web. Not government. Not military. Think. The archivists, the silencers, the Order of the Fifth Vein. The name depends on who's whispering. But her particular specialization? She's an extractor. Not of people. Of secrets. Hidden knowledge. Dangerous truth. She locates individuals whose memories, bloodlines, or tech carry information too volatile to exist, and makes sure those pieces either vanish or end up in the right hands. And right is, let's just say, subjective. She's part spy, part assassin, part ghostwriter of reality. And why Quinn? You think Quinn was random? Darling. Quinn Monroe is the anomaly. The thread that wasn't supposed to be pulled. She's genetically linked to something Atalia's people buried 70 years ago, a sealed Cold War experiment known only as Project Mercury. Someone in Quinn's bloodline cracked something too big for the world to handle. The files were purged. But Quinn? She's inherited something. An instinct. A map in her mind. Maybe more. She's too good. Her forensic skills aren't just a resume, she sees what others don't. Patterns. Frequencies. Tells. She's unknowingly decoding things she was never meant to find. Atalia was assigned to monitor her, then realized Quinn's not just decoding. She's waking something up. They have a past. No, not that kind. Not yet. But a shared location. A missing 48 hours in Quinn's life from 3 years ago, a night in Marrakesh she chalked up to being drugged. She wasn't. She met Atalia. And Atalia erased the memory. But a shard of it remains. Then the invitation. Sound cue, low jazz hum in the background, fading in the clink of glasses and city ambience through open windows. The night stretches long and sultry, like a silk slip falling to the floor. Quinn Monroe isn't used to being caught off guard, but tonight she's more than off balance. She's curious. She's watching Atalia like she might disappear. In an upscale but oddly secluded restaurant. Candlelight. A quiet booth. Atalia's domain. Quinn softly. This place isn't listed. I searched. It's not on any map. Atalia, with that ever-so-slight smirk. Some places aren't meant to be found unless you're invited. Her voice carries the weight of something ancient. Not old, just timeless. There's confidence, but it's not performative. It's earned. And Quinn, with all her degrees, accolades, and dissected corpses, realizes she's sitting across from the most puzzling riddle she's ever encountered. Quinn, leaning in. So, what exactly do you do, Atalia? I know you don't run restaurants. Atalia, picking up her glass, the wine reflecting firelight in her eyes. I solve problems most people don't realize exist. I trace what's hidden. I disrupt things better left untouched. I keep certain truths from collapsing the world you pretend is real. A beat. A pause that lingers like a lover's kiss withheld. Quinn, scoffing gently. That sounds like a very elegant way of saying I lie for a living. Atalia, smiling, dark and warm. Don't we all? There's no laugh track here. Just silence. Weighted, intentional. Atalia leans in now, her fingers brushing the stem of Quinn's glass, but not touching her. Atalia, you want to know what I do? Then stop looking at the surface. You're trained to see what others miss, Dr. Monroe. So why aren't you asking yourself why you're here? Why I chose you? Quinn cool, but her voice betrays a shiver. All right. Why me? Atalia, low, delicious. Because you're the one thing I didn't plan for. And the one thing I can't ignore. There it is. The quiet collapse. Not love. Not even lust. Something else. A convergence. Two threads drawn too tight, pulling toward something neither of them fully controls. Atalia, reaching into her coat, placing a velvet envelope on the table. There's a plane at 3 a.m. No questions asked. You get on, I show you everything. What's real? What's coming? But it's a one-way ticket. The envelope burns in Quinn's hand even though she hasn't touched it. Her heart pounds. Her mind races. But deep down, she already knows her answer. Quinn, fingers brushing the edge of the envelope, her pulse louder than the rain outside. You keep saying this isn't fate, but it feels like it. Atalia, soft, deadly, voice dipped in grief and iron. Then we pretend tonight never happened. And the next time we meet, I'll be a ghost at your crime scene. A beat of silence so heavy it shatters something between them. Quinn, eyes burning. Why does it sound like you're saying goodbye? Atalia, smiling without joy. Because I am. Unless you're on that plane. Later back at her apartment, Quinn sits on the edge of her bed. Rain trickles down the balcony windows. The velvet envelope lies untouched beside her, a beast of temptation. She stares at it, eyes sharp, fingers twitching. Quinn. 3 a.m. I could have boarded that plane. Walked into the unknown. But I stayed. Because something about her scared me more than death ever did. She lights a cigarette. First in 6 years. Her phone buzzes, unknown number. No message. Just a single black feather emoji. She's back at work. But distracted. Her screens display biochemical analyses, satellite images, security clearances. She zooms in on a strange image, Atalia, grainy, half-shadow, from a 2012 protest in Prague. Next frame. A photo of a woman standing in the crowd unchanged. A decade later. Quinn. Softly, almost reverently. What the hell are you? In a secret location. Istanbul. Atalia in a dimly lit room, walls covered with ancient maps and modern tech. She's watching Quinn on a monitor, a small smirk tugging at her lips. Atalia, soft to herself. You chose silence. But silence echoes love. In Quinn's apartment, 2:47 a.m., 2 weeks later. Quinn's pacing. The velvet envelope now worn at the edges. She finally rips it open. Inside, coordinates. A photo of her as a child, one that shouldn't exist. And a line handwritten in Latin. Non omnes tenebris sunt mali. Sed quid esse sunt tua. Not all darkness is evil. But what if it's yours? Her breath catches. She grabs a go bag. On private airstrip that night. A jet sits idle. Engines silent, but waiting. Quinn appears at the gate. Quinn, smirking to herself. I don't chase ghosts. But this one haunts me. She boards. Quinn finds a single glass of red wine waiting. No crew. Just silence. From the cockpit, Atalia's voice, velvet and lethal. Atalia. Welcome aboard, Dr. Monroe. Let's begin. Episode 4. The deep end of the game. A private villa in Istanbul later that night. A rooftop view of the Bosphorus. Lanterns sway in the warm wind. Quinn stands by the glass balcony, drink in hand, her face bathed in gold light, her silhouette etched against the city's pulse. Quinn. They said Istanbul is where continents meet, but they forgot to mention, so do demons. The door opens and then light footsteps. Atalia appears. Not just a figure of mystery anymore. This is War Queen mode. Combat boots. All black. The quiet before 100 storms. Atalia. And then here you are. Quinn. I wasn't done with the conversation. Atalia, smirking. You're never done with anything. That's what makes you dangerous. They descend into a room pulsing with maps, tech weapons. A digital wall displays classified intel, names, faces, black sites, redacted projects. Atalia, pointing to a file. Operation Blood Key. You're in it, whether you remember or not. Quinn. Try me. Atalia. They call it erasure. They cleaned your slate, burned your past. But your DNA didn't forget. Quinn, quietly. What the hell am I? Atalia, stepping close, inches away. You're the weapon they lost, and I intend to find every piece. Later in a memory trigger room. A sterile chamber. Wires. Pulse scanners. Atalia watches as Quinn lies back, surrendering. Flashes cut through the silence. A snow-covered lab. Voices yelling in Russian. Quinn in restraints, screaming. The symbol of Project Helix seared into her mind. Quinn jerks upright, breathless. No. I was one of them. I helped them. Atalia. You were their genius. Then their liability. Then their ghost. But you can still choose what you become. On the villa balcony, hours later. Quinn and Atalia sit in silence. Tension and tenderness both simmering. Quinn. So what now? Atalia. Now we break the chain. But we don't do it alone. Quinn. I came here chasing boredom. I found the storm. The night air clung to the villa balcony, thick with unspoken words. Below, the distant murmur of the city, a quiet counterpoint to the charged silence between Quinn and Atalia. They sat close enough to touch, yet each breath felt measured, deliberate. Moonlight traced the sharp line of Quinn's jaw as she turned to Atalia, fingers curling around the railing. So what now? The question hung between them, raw and unfinished. Atalia exhaled, slow, her dark eyes reflecting the stars. Now we break the chain. A pause. But we don't do it alone. Quinn's lips twitched, half smile, half ache. I came here chasing boredom. She leaned back, gaze drifting to the horizon. I found the storm. Atalia reached out then, her hand hovering before settling over Quinn's, warm and sure. Storms don't last forever. Quinn turned her palm up, lacing their fingers. No, she murmured. But they change everything. Then she kissed her. First hesitant, but when Atalia's mouth opened in a welcome, the kiss deepened. The world and all the ghosts is lost, but this moment stays. The kiss like they needed each other to exist. Atalia broke first, resting her forehead against Quinn's. A breeze swept through, carrying salt and jasmine. They stayed like that, anchored, weightless, knowing the next step would be taken together. The air is thick with unspoken words, a delicate balance of vulnerability and fierce resolve. As the night deepens over the villa, Quinn and Italia stand on the precipice of a new world, not just for themselves, but perhaps for many. Their storm has only just begun, and they will face it, truly, together. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe and like this video and follow me for more stories. You are always welcome here, and leave me a comment or a thumbs up, just letting me know if you like the story and would like more, or is there perhaps an idea that you would like to share or let me write for you.